Hey everybody, fluxjelly here, bringing you guys another Starcraft 2 commentary. This is going to be a professional game between Sheth and Zerg. Zerg's actually SlayerSRyung, so it's not just some random guy named Zerg. He's actually a really good Terran player. This map is a metalopolis, so this game was probably in a tournament of some sort. It obviously wasn't a ladder game. So yeah, it was probably a part of some kind of tournament. I'm not quite sure. I did a little bit of research, but I couldn't actually find out which one it was. So yeah, but it should be a pretty good game. We do have cross positions here on Metalopolis. Usually ends up being a pretty good macro game. I'm so glad they put Metalopolis back in the ladder pool. It was one of my favorite maps. And now that they have this supply depot here, which actually isn't on ladder, but for like tournaments and stuff. And now that they have this supply depot here, you can't really block this off, which makes this map a lot better for Zerg. So you can take your pretty fast expansion, and I mean, in this case, Sheth kind of, you know, either way, he'd be expanding kind of closer to his opponent, but it's really not that big of a deal on this map, just because you can just control this watchtower, and then it's not really that big of a deal. So we do have the supply depot going down now for SlayerSRyung. I'm not really quite sure what he's doing. He's actually putting a barracks on the low ground, so he's actually going to be doing a proxy racks here, and Sheth doesn't have a pool down yet, so I'm not quite sure what he's going to be doing. He's getting his he's getting another drone, so he's probably going to go up to 15. If he doesn't drop a pool down, he could be in a little bit of trouble here. He's got his 15th drone now. He's hit 200, and he hasn't put down a pool yet. The drone's actually leaving now, and yeah, it looks like he's actually going to put down a hatchery, so this is going to be really, really big. This is going to be really hard to defend for Sheth. Actually, a second rack's going down for SlayerSRyung right now, so a proxy 2 racks is actually going to be really hard to deal with for Sheth, especially since he went hatch first. Thankfully for him, though, he is actually cross-map and not like close air like this right here. If he was spawning right here and this racks was right here, I mean, he'd pretty much have essentially no chance defending this, just because, I mean, the pool would just be way too late. But this proxy 2 racks, there is a little bit of a rush distance, but still, I mean, his pool's only just now going down. The first barracks is already making a marine. The SCV is actually scouting right now. He's going to try to find Sheth. He's not going to find him there, so he does know exactly where Sheth is, as you cannot spawn on close positions on this map. So Sheth's drone going out right now. He's going to be scouting the wrong way as well. So he's not actually going to see this coming, which is a really, really big deal. I do expect Sheth here to be throwing, SlayerSRyung to be throwing down a bunker somewhere. Not quite sure where. I think he's checking now for the timing of that pool, just to see if he's safe to put a bunker down. But he's actually delayed his bunker quite a bit, so he should have actually just thrown that down right away. He did kind of waste a lot of time there, because the pool is actually up now, so there's going to be some lings coming out any time now. We do have a second SCV over here, so he's probably going to be throwing down the bunker. And he can't actually wall this off, which is a pretty big deal. So the hatchery's up right now, so he can't cancel it. The queen's on the way, and there are actually 2 bunkers going down, and a lot of drones are being pulled here. But, I mean, this marine is tucked away so well right here that he's just going to be able to kill so many drones. And then we have another marine coming in here, 3 SCVs. They aren't actually attacking, which is kind of weird. They should be attacking the drones, I think, but not really going to question SlayerSRyung there, but the SCV is actually going down for free, so yeah, that wasn't really the best control there from SlayerSRyung. He probably should have had the SCVs attacking as well, just to mess with the drone's AI a little bit. But as you can see, like, so many drones got taken off mining, like, they're still not mining, and I mean, these bunkers just got cancelled, so they're not really a big deal. We do have 10 lings now on the way. So Sheth's going to try to be aggressive against this, but a full wall off there from SlayerSRyung, so he's not going to be able to get in there with those lings. And if we look at the income tab right now, it's 17/12 for SlayerSRyung, so I mean, that put him so far ahead, even though Sheth does have this this hatchery here. I mean, there's a command center going down right now for SlayerSRyung, and the drone's actually on top of the supply depot, so the lings could run in here if they... Oh, okay, well, now the drone got taken out, but the lings could have actually ran in here, because you can't raise the depot when there's a unit on top of it, so the lings could have got in there if they were fast enough, but there's just too many marines at this point. I mean, the 2 racks made so many marines that, I mean, Sheth's going to just lose all his lings here, so SlayerSRyung is going to be safe from that. He should be moving these barracks up to the high ground soon, just so they don't get picked off. But Sheth is kind of rebounding. He's droned up after that aggression, so he's brought it back to pretty much even. But I mean, at the same time, SlayerSRyung does have mules, so I mean, he's still a little bit ahead. But he is droning up pretty hard, which is good. He's going to be back into this game pretty soon. He's got his 2 queens on the way right now, so that is pretty good. He's mining gas, so he's probably going to go. He's probably going to be getting some layer tech, which is kind of weird. Well, he actually hasn't even gotten speed yet. Wow, he didn't have any drones on gas, so kind of smart there. You know, skipping gas a little bit, just because the speed wouldn't have helped him in that little battle, so you might as well not waste the minerals, just get more lings out, which is smart by Sheth. So he will be getting speed right now, but he is leaving workers on gas, and he left 3 on, so he's probably going to be going some quick layer tech. His queens are out now, and he is droning up kind of hard, so that's good for him. 5 more drones about to pop. Over here in SlayerSRyung base, he has another command center going down right here, so he's going to have 3 command centers. He's probably going to expand and use one as a macro CC, and he's throwing down 2 factories right now, so he's kind of curious what he's going to be doing. He's either going to be doing some really heavy tank marine play, because he's still making marines, or he's going to go come some kind of Hellion build. I probably think he's probably going to go some kind of Hellion build. He'll probably get Blue Flame or something like that. Wouldn't be too surprising there. It will do a fair bit of damage if you catch a Sheth off guard, just because Blue Flame Hellions are so good. I mean, they did nerf the damage, but I mean, they still two-shot lings. The big thing is they don't two-shot drones. They 3-shot drones, so that's pretty much the only reason why they changed that. We have Sheth now grabbing his third base over here, so he's trying to stay ahead in the economy, and if he does get that base up and running, he will actually be pretty far ahead. We do have a tech lab going down on this factory, and this factory is actually done as well, so we're going to see what kind of upgrade he gets out of here. For some reason he's moving this factory over here. I don't really understand that. I guess he didn't have enough room for an add-on, but it's kind of weird nonetheless. So we do have actually Blue Flame coming, yeah, so he's going to do some Hellion play here. So he's going to have 2 factory Hellion with Blue Flame and Marines. He's not getting any stim or combat shield, so this push isn't going to be as strong as he wants it to be in an ideal world. Speed is actually down with these lings now, so they're just going to poke around and see what they can find out. A bunker is down at the natural, though, so it is going to be pretty safe from lings. They might be able to run in here and pick off a couple of SCVs, but the Hellions are actually out now, so he's going to be pretty well defended from these lings. I'm just going to see if he can get any info. He might see these Hellions. If SlayerSRyung is smart, he's actually going to hide these Hellions, because that way Sheth will think he's probably doing some kind of different build, like tanks or something like that. Because if he doesn't give away these Hellions, he should be able to catch Sheth off guard. But a lot of Baneleys be morphing right now from Sheth, so he's just going to go straight for the SCVs here. Try to do a lot of damage. There are 3 mules down there. One is actually about to run out, so it's not going to do too much. Oh, the lings are actually surrounding that bunker, so the Banelings are going to ignore the SCVs altogether and just go for the main. But there's so many Hellions out right now that these Banelings just aren't going to do any damage at all. Yeah, look, they all explode, doing absolutely nothing. Did a little bit of damage to a bunker, but that's about it. We do have some lings over here trying to kill some SCVs, but the Hellions just going to come down here and clean this up pretty fast. One thing Sheth did get out of that, though, he does know what SlayerSRyung is doing. He knows he's going Hellions, so he'll be able to throw a couple spawn crawlers down. He does have his roach warden up, and he's actually getting roaches right now, so pretty quick response there from Sheth. I do expect SlayerSRyung to move out of this Hellion play, though, as soon as he pushes out here. He's probably going to go into Tank Marine. That would make the most sense, just because, I mean, he's already got the factories up, and he's got the Tech Lab, so he might as well. Throwing a Tech Lab and a Reactor down here, so he's probably going to be going for Stim and Combat Shields fairly soon. We have a couple lings coming around here just to do some scouting. They're not going to do any sort of damage, as this is a pretty nice sim city here from SlayerSRyung. So, I mean, the lings can come in here, but they're just going to get picked off by all the Marines. We do have some Hellions on the way out now. They're going to see this third, I think. Yeah, they are going to go into the third, so Ryung is going to know the Sheth has a third up, which is pretty key. He's going to be able to throw it on his own expansion if he really wants to. Losing one, he lost one reactor, or one Hellion, I should say, there, so that's kind of sloppy by him, but he does know there's roaches on the field, so he should be moving into Tank Marine. Yeah, he does have 2 tanks on the way right now, along with Stim Pack and +1, so Tank Marine's actually really good against roaches. If Sheth doesn't see this tech switch fast enough and he sticks to roaches, he's just going to be so far behind. He's going to be in a lot of trouble, because roaches just, I don't know, they're just not cost-effective enough against tanks to merit getting. We do have a couple Banelings here now. I did actually miss that, but all the SCVs did run away, so not much damage was done. If you look at the income tab right now, Sheth doing a really good job at staying ahead in drones, though. He has 53 over 48. Bear in mind, though, again, SlayerSRyung does have 3 orbitals, which is actually kind of risky, because if this third is an orbital, it means it's really susceptible to ling run-bys if it's not a planetary, because, I mean, the planetary pretty much shuts down all ling harasses, because they just pretty much one-shot them, so it's pretty hard to get lings in and do any damage. But now that it's an orbital, that's really greedy. I mean, it's going to be wicked for his eco, but he's going to lose a lot of SCVs from run-bys, I think. Just because it's so easy to do. And I mean, look at Sheth's lead, blooming here, 70 over 54, so he's doing a really good job at staying ahead here, but he is sticking to roaches, so he does have to switch out of this fairly soon, or these tanks are just going to shred him. I mean, unless he can get off enough roaches to deal with the tanks, it's going to be really hard to do. No roach speed on the way, though, so it doesn't, well, his layer's on the way, but it doesn't look like he's going to be staying with roaches. He is getting the melee attack, so he's probably going to be going into mutiling here. Would make a lot of sense. It is a good transition out of roaches. Roaches help you keep you alive, you know, in the early game, which is actually probably why Sheth got them. They're really cheap on larva as opposed to Ling Bane, so he can drone harder and still stay alive with the roaches. So that is really smart by Sheth. He is trying to move out here, but he does see this big push coming, so he should be ready for this. He's still making a couple drones, but he's making a lot of roaches as well. So this attack shouldn't do too much damage. These roaches do go down, but I mean, he's only got 3 tanks, and siege mode's not quite done yet, so he's going to have some time to muster up some forces. Some Banelings and Lings on the way, more roaches, so I do think he's going to be able to deal with this attack fairly easily. He's probably going to be moving into the third. That would be the smart move by Ryung, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's going to move up here to the third. He actually pulled his Hellions back, so it looks like he's going to actually try to swing around to the natural with the Hellions, which is kind of I don't know. I don't really agree with that too much. You kind of want to keep your army together like that. I mean, if he spreads it out, It's going to be easier for Sheth to deal with, because the really big danger of the Terran army is when it's in a big ball like this and you just have to attack into it. It's really hard to do. So these tanks are coming right now. Siege mode still isn't done, so we did engage a little bit earlier there, but these Hellions will be able to melt all those Lings. One tank actually going down, though, so that's really bad for SlayerSRyung. A couple more tanks actually getting targeted down by the Roaches. He actually did lose one more tank. He still has 3 left, but a little bit of a flank here from the other Roaches. Don't quite get that other tank, which is pretty big. I mean, they can siege up now, and this tank is going to do a lot of damage siege up against these Roaches, as they do get bonus damage done against them with siege mode. But he's actually pulling back right now, which I don't totally disagree with, because I mean, he doesn't have very much. He actually does have to be careful with this tank, though. He doesn't want to lose that, and okay, he just does barely save that. A couple of Roaches are going down, so yes, so he is going to repair those up and get them back on the field pretty soon. And we do see 2 Spires down now from Sheth, so he must be going either upgraded mutas, or he just totally forgot that he had a Spire already on the way. Could have been one or the other. He is getting the flyer weapons right now, no armor, so it does look like he did actually just kind of mess up a little bit. But he is getting 5 mutas now and 12 more drones. So he's doing a really good job of making drones. He's actually going to be up to about 82, which is really high. You don't really want to get too many drones, because then your army's going to be really small. But 82, I guess, is kind of pushing the upper limit. And there's that run by I was talking about before. I mean, without the planetary, the Lings are just have free reign over this third. A lot of SCVs going down right now. He took out about 4 or 5 SCVs, which is really big, and he did cancel those missile turrets, so that is huge. He did kill that SCV there on gas, and the Marines are going to swing around here and kill this army off, but I mean, the damage was done. I do think that was fairly worth it. I mean, at this point, he is really far ahead, so the more he can do to get farther ahead, the better. I mean, a couple Lings and Roaches for some SCVs is a pretty good trade. Even though, I mean, Ryung does have the 3 mules, I mean, still, it's a big deal. So, good play there from Sheth. We do have the 2-2 on the way now for the Lings. We do actually have the Flyer Carapace upgrade, so it does look like he meant to get the double Spire just to get really upgraded mutas, which is weird. I've never actually done that myself. Seems to be a waste of gas to me, but we'll see if it pays off here. We do have Bailing Speed on the way as well, but a push coming out from Ryung right now. He's going to be pushing down onto the creep, so he does have to kill off some of these creep tumors before he pushes in. I don't know if Sheth's going to be ready for this. He's been morphing a lot of Bailings right here. We have about 23 Bailings on the way right now, and a bunch of Lings with 2-2. 2-2 should be done by the time this is over. 32 more Lings about to pop, so I do think this attack will be dealt with fairly easily. It all depends on the micro here. If Sheth engages this right, he should be able to deal with this. And actually, Ryung being very aggressive with expanding, trying to take that gold as well, so really good job by him there. Bailing Speed is actually done right now, I think. Yeah, Bailing Speed just finished, and he's going to wait for 2-2 before he engages, which is really smart. But he does have a lot. Actually, he didn't even wait for the 2-2. He waited for the +1. Oh, and no micro from Sheth, or from Ryung. He just let his Marines get raped by the Bailings there. You really don't want that to happen. And yeah, that attack was cleaned up. There are some Marines left, but I mean, look at how many Lings are up here. They're going to be able to deal with those Marines, no problem. The Marines are actually upgraded 1-1, which is pretty good, but I mean, Lings are 2-2 at this point almost, so they're going to be able to deal with this pretty easily. And yes, Ryung has to pick up and leave here. And there's actually 1 muta on the field right now, but I mean, he's actually going to lose that muta, which is kind of sloppy, but that's alright. A couple of Marines are getting picked up over here. They are getting picked up by the medevacs, so they're going to be pulled out of there pretty quick. And Ryung being really annoying with that cliff abuse right there, which is really good by him, but you can see how low his tank count is. As a Terran, you really want to keep your tanks alive. That's really what determines if you win or not. If you let your tanks die, I mean, you just don't have enough to deal with the Lings, and these Marines are doing a really good job staying alive. They got pulled in that corner there, really good job. That base is going to get taken out, which is really bad for Sheth. He does have a lot of drones over here. He does have to get those out of there right now, or he's going to lose them all. And no, he actually runs them up to the 6th base, and that is a shame. All those drones are going down. And it just goes to show how strong Marines are. I mean, a lot of mutas out right now, but Marines shred mutas, to be honest. So, I mean, this isn't looking good for Sheth right now. He's got a lot of Lings on the way. He's getting some infestors. His infestation pit is just done, so he's going to try to get infestors out, which will be a really good asset to have against all these Marines. And they are going to actually run in and take out this base as well. All in the meantime, getting a planetary at that gold and getting that fully saturated with a lot of mules. So Ryung's actually pulling pretty far ahead in this game right now. He's on 4 bases right now against Sheth's 3 base. And as a Terran, if you're up a base on a Zerg, you're in really good shape. You should probably win the game. If you look at the food count, I mean, it's 197 over 124 for Ryung, so he is in phenomenal shape right now. A couple of mutas flying around. They're not going to be able to do enough damage to anything. Kind of surprised Ryung didn't want to push the envelope here and come into the 3rd. I feel like he could have easily taken out that 3rd as well. Probably forced the GG too. I mean, there's not much that Sheth can do at this point either way. I mean, he is really far behind. There are Thors on the field right now, so these Thors are going to melt those mutas pretty quick. So harass is pretty much gone for Sheth at this point. He's not going to be able to do very much. A lot of Bailings coming right now, which is good. They're going to be able to deal with those Marines. It's all going to come down to how Ryung targets with those tanks now at this point. The mutas are trying to be annoying here. There are no missile turrets at the third, actually, so a little bit of a misstep there by Ryung, not replacing those missile turrets that got picked off by the Ling run by. He is throwing them down now, so he shouldn't take too much more damage at this expansion. He did lose 1 gas, but I mean, at this point, like I said, he's up 4 bases to 3, so 1 gas geyser isn't really the end of the world for him at this point. His mineral income is going to be through the roof. If you look at the income tab right now, it's 76 over 61 for Ryung, so he is just miles ahead in this game. His income is just humongous at this point. He's going to be able to make so many Marines just because this gold is getting muled up pretty hard and is really saturated. And here comes the death push right now. I do think this is probably going to end the game. We do have a lot of Marines coming in right now with Thors, so these mutas are pretty much useless. A lot of Banelings and Lings over here, though, so they should be able to do a fair bit of damage. They are 2-2 right now. The Marines are 2-2 as well, so I mean, it's not going to be the ideal situation for Sheth, but he should be able to do a bit of damage. His hive is on the way, but I don't think it's going to be able to finish fast enough. And you really don't want to waste those Banelings on the Thor, Sheth. Oh, he does actually waste a lot of Banelings on the Thor. But he did actually clean that attack up pretty efficiently. He killed a lot of stuff off with those Banelings, and these Marines are stuck out in the middle of nowhere. They're going to get taken out as well. These medevacs are getting pretty low in health. So if there's any mutas at all, they're going to be able to pick these off. Thankfully for Ryung, though, he does have a couple of tanks for backup, but they're going to get taken out as well. So, yeah, Sheth's actually pushing back here, surprisingly. I didn't really think this was going to happen. He's down like 60 food, so I didn't really expect this at all. And they're actually pushing into the natural right now, so he's going to be able to do some damage to this infrastructures. Oh, he does actually Baneling bust those supply depots, so he did waste a lot of Banes there. I don't think he has enough to do any damage here. He kills off a lot of Marines and like 5 SCVs, so that is pretty good from Sheth. I'm trying to even up the drone count as much as he can, but at this point, I mean, his main's mined out. He's getting dropped right now. He's actually going to lose his spawning pool, so he's not going to be able to make any more Lings. This does seem like it's going to be GG right here. The Infestor is out right now, but I mean, 1 Infestor is not going to do very much. And I mean, his natural is almost mined out, and his third base is mining, but I mean, so he's essentially on 1.5 bases once this base gets a little bit more mined out. I mean, it only has about 200 at each patch, so it's really bad for him. In the meantime, I mean, Ryung has 2 bases up, fully saturated. He could move some SVs over here if he really wanted to. So yeah, he's really, really far ahead. Sheth does have this 4th base up now, which is pretty good for him, but I mean, it's really close to this expansion here, and it looks like Ryung's going to be expanding here. So that's going to be a really, really short rush distance to attack that 4th. It's going to be really hard to defend. We do have a big engage here right now. A lot of Marines and Thors coming down against all these Lings, but the Lings are actually holding their own here. A nice fungal growth going down there from Sheth, so these Marines are actually taking a lot of damage. They are going to end up winning, and yeah, there's the GG from Sheth. So not much he could do there. Ryung did a really good job at taking out these 2 bases over here and expanding while doing it. He took that gold and made the planetary, which was really good. And his risk actually ended up paying off here with the orbital at the 3rd. He only lost a couple of SCVs there. He got 1. I think there was 1 run by done by Sheth. So yeah, that's really surprising there. I didn't think he was going to lose a lot more than that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this game, and stay tuned for more.